All right, so to add to our throwing, or to add to our hitting, I'm sorry, Lily was over there throwing. To add to our hitting, we're going to break down each skill or each drill that we do and talk through why we're doing it, what we're looking for, and to talk about each girl's swing and the breakdown of it, okay? So a lot of times you'll see us start off with this little 2-pound ball. All it is 2 pounds, nothing heavy about it. You can use the small total control balls. There's a company that makes Frisbee. It looks like the old little flimsy dog Frisbees. Some people use lids to buckets. But what we're working on is we want to work on palm up, palm down. So whenever a swing actually takes place, when we get set and we go to swing, that barrel, that bat is around shoulder high with our hands in this position, down, straight, and we're working at pushing to and through contact, all right? With palm up, palm down. So what we're working on here is keeping our hands close to our shoulder. See the V in my arm, down, across here. And what we're working on is getting in our fundamental base, step, and turning, staying tight to our body. We're not wanting to stay inside against our body because we want to stay inside the ball, not inside tucked to our body, okay? So I know a lot of people say stay hands inside, but they don't explain it's hands inside the ball. If I'm tucked in here, I'm choked off and my bat and everything's trapped where I can't use all my power the proper way, all right? But we're going to work here. We're going to step, we're going to rotate our body, and we're going to throw straight in front of us. So from this angle, the drill's going to look something like this. Palm up, palm down. When I step and I turn, I'm turning my body, staying here, and driving straight in front of me, okay? So we're working on the ball going straight in front of wherever we're aimed at or set up at. If you see the ball going off to the right, or it would be away from the batter, that's that problem we were talking about in the other video. They're casting out in some form. Either here, laying back, here, rolling over, but this front arm is straightening out, and they're having to try to fight the rotation of their body to get it back straight, which is what's making that long, slow swing with a dragging bat head and very little power with their swing. We're just relying on our rotational swing and a top hand rolling over. So if you watch your girl when we're at practice or whatever doing this, if you see her drop and lean back like that, that's the issue we're trying to get away from. When this drill's done right, everything stays tight and inside. You can still see my form that I've got. I've got my power through my rotation to extension and through extension to follow through. If we see this, that arm going straight, leaning back, that's the issue we're trying to get away from that we're working on here. We're going to stop them and correct them instantly. If we see this, that's something else. That's that lean with our hands coming out front. This is straightened out, and they're throwing. If your girl does the lean back and the straighten arm back here, they're usually going to throw it away from themselves. If they're rolling over and that right hand is used to rolling over and they got to lunge forward, they're usually going to throw it to the pull side of themselves. So what we're doing is trying to set a target up straight in front of them to go from here straight that way, all right? Something that we might do that's similar to it, but to do away with the ball or add it to our routine is, like I said, when we swing, that bat's about right here, right? Somewhere in this vicinity around my shoulder. We don't want it way down here. We're not teaching launch angle yet. We're teaching on hard, solid contact line drives to and through the ball, okay? So what we're going to be working on is putting the bat on our shoulder. Hands bent, hands close to our shoulder. So you see, just like that ball, I've got my knuckles lined up and I've got my L positions right here. So whenever I step, I'm working on keeping this elbow bending, and all I'm doing when I turn my body, my knob turns. So it's really like I've got a straight line from my elbow to my knob. It turns. Once it starts turning, then my right hand turns. So if you see, I'm sort of drawing a straight line from elbow to knob, there, from knob through my right hand, pointing at the pitcher. That's where that top seam comes into play. So if I go If I've got it set up and I'm sitting here on my shoulder, when I go to swing, I step, my elbow draws the seam, goes down that top seam, my knob turns through that top seam, my right hand fires at that top seam, and I've hit dead center of that ball. I'm gonna go through it to extension. That's why we do so many drills from right here to extension, because a lot of the issues we have is turning and pulling off the ball. We really want to stay focused on to and through the ball to where we're staying through contact and not pulling off. If you've heard me tell the girls, hey, aim at that top seam, probably a lot of times on their tee work, what they're doing is doing that pulling out with that front arm straightening out, pulling them off the ball, or they're just swinging and we're hitting pop flies or rollovers. And as soon as you say, hey, let's aim at that top seam, now they've got a target to aim at, and they dial in and start hitting line drives, really working through hitting that top seam through the pitcher. So that's the purpose behind this drill, is to where we get away from a straight arm till we really work on turning our body and keeping that power position to where we can turn our knob with our body and then fire our hand to where it's just like that, hitting hard line drives back through the box.